warm welcome to BookFlix Live, where authors become your mentors, where successful authors share their proven frameworks to achieve success by design, not by default. Friends, we have been discussing about the book Life Without If with the very author and very successful global corporate leader, Mr. Sudipto Chowdhury. In the previous episode, we have broadly discussed about the concept presented by this particular book. And today, as we have our episode number 2 of BookFlix Live, we'll start getting more deeper into the framework presented by this book, Life Without If, which will help us to achieve success by design. So, dear friends, without any further ado, let us welcome our guest, Mr. Sudipto Chowdhury. Sir, welcome back to BookFlix Live. Today we are going to have the second session, episode number 2. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Brojan, having me again here. I hope your last episode, your viewers has enjoyed it, and we will take it to the next level today. So let's move on.
Right, sir. Absolutely. I am fully excited for this episode number 2 live show that we are going to have today. Our viewers actually have given a lot of motivating feedback, I would say, and some queries also have come. Among those queries, I just wanted to pick up one query, sir, and if you could please elaborate a little bit about a query which has come from one of the viewers before starting today's episode number 2 main conversation. Sir, the query which has come is something like this. You mentioned about in the episode number 1 about some term called taking to the gym. You were mentioning about making the person completely clear about a concept, then do the assessment, and then make the plan, make the master plan, blueprint, which you call it Life Without If blueprint for that particular reader. Then after that, you talked about a term called you take him or her to the gym, and you just work with that particular reader. So on that term, one of the query which has come is that if you could elaborate the term called learning gym or taking to the gym a little bit more, because they found it really, really unique and really, really interesting. So over to you, sir, if you could make it a little more clear about it.
Sure. Who has made the query? Can you share the name of the person?
Yes, sir. There is a guy called Pankaj. He probably is from the northeast part of India. And Pankaj, if you are watching, this is the answer which is coming right from the author, Sudipto sir himself, about that term that you have asked about.
Okay, Pankaj, I think you have raised, I can only say that you have very carefully listened to our first episode. And I'm so happy that you have picked up a very, very critical terminology, which is life without if, gym. Okay, so what is that? So I will actually step back a little and go back and start with where we started the episode 1. Is that all of us are have gone through or read through or reading through a lot of motivational books, a lot of motivational training, a lot of motivational lectures. And, all of them are like give a real push to the adrenaline, and we really get charged up. And, it seems like, it's a great beginning we have have ahead, and we will just do, something very, very different. But, Brojan also mentioned, in most of the cases, even research says the impact of that motivational adrenaline does not, or I will not say does not, in most cases does not stay beyond a point, like many other things, unless and until you really work with that. And, that's where, when we were actually planning to write this book, me and Joy, we have debated, in this genre, there are so many books, so famous. So why should people take our book and read? Then he said, it has to be unique and different. And in a way, it is really unique and different. What we, in our own discussion internally, says, this will be art and science of meaningful living. What we will deliver is the art and science of meaningful living. Motivational books or self-help books, in most cases, either are art or are science, but a combination of both is the uniqueness of this book. And that's where I said this book has been designed, structured in a way that first you tell the concept. So if I have to take a metaphor to explain, all of us know that we need a great health. We need a great physique. Okay. So first you need to tell people that why do you need it? Once you tell them why do you need it, then you tell them what is that you'll have to do to have that physique or have that great health. And that's where you are talking about diet, you are talking about various habits, but you really don't get your great health and great, physique unless and until you work with the knowledge and do exercise in the gym. And this is where life without if gym comes in. So first part we actually talk about the concept. What is life without if? That life cannot be without if. Life has to be without if. But there are ifs. First know your ifs. Which ifs are strong for you, which ifs are weak for you. And then go to the gym and make your weak ifs stronger. And make your stronger if for the stronger. So it's like if you have a bicep muscle which is weak, work with it. So if there is an if which is particularly you're in assessment not coming as your strong point, then work with it. That's what we give you the solution. And in the first part of the book, we actually work as a teacher or a preacher. But in the second part of the book, we actually transform from a teacher or preacher to a coach. We take you to the gym and make you do the exercise. And what are the exercise? You do assessment, you do practice, you do document yourself, your strength and weakness. You tell yourself what you want to do, and then you exercise and you do reassessment and find out whether that particular muscle or that particular reef has strengthened over a period of time or not. And that's where the life without reef gym comes in. Hope that explains you, Pankaj and Brojan, for the rest of the readers.
Right. Sudipto sir, thank you so much for explaining it so nicely. For my own interpretation, if I may call it, like in your book, there are two parts. Unlike other books wherein you get the concept, you get the knowledge about the author is trying to convey to you. In this book, you have in fact added another part in this book wherein you are not only explaining the concept or the diamond blueprint or life without if diamond blueprint, which somebody can develop for himself after reading the book, after understanding the concept part of the book for achieving success by design in life, in any part of life, any field of life. uh, Now you are also including another part wherein it includes all the activities which will help the reader to convert that particular knowledge into measurable results as per his expectations or as per his plan. So if I may summarize like this in a simple way, is it okay, Sudipto sir?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
Absolutely.
sure.
I will just add little bit that in our gym, yeah, if I have to divide the body, okay, you will find it out. There's a head, which actually defines our intent, which tells us what you want to do. Then there is a heart, which actually tells you how you want to do, what should be the rightful behavior or not so rightful behavior, that is governed by heart. And then there are two hands, which are your weapon for a execution, proper execution. And then there are two legs, which are actually which balance you through the journey of life, give you the resilience, give you the strength, give you the balance. So if your head is sharp and clear, your purpose is sharp and clear. If your heart is strong and strong, then your behaviors are rightful, so you have more positive waves than negative waves. If your hands are strong, then your execution, your consistency and the correctness of execution will be much better. And if your legs are strong and tall enough, then you have a great balance and great resilience, and you will make your all these four put together makes your journey so much more meaningful, successful by design. And that's where the life without if comes, and where center says the living by design, by minimizing the negative waves impact and the enhancing the positive wave impacts. And here, when I'm talking about a strong hand, I'm really not talking about a muscular strong hand. I am talking about your ability and consistency of execution. When I'm talking about a strong leg, I'm really not talking about a great muscular leg, but I'm talking about a strong resilience and resilience. Okay, there will be failure, but how fast you can come back and go and get your balance back and move on. When we are talking about a sharper head, we are not talking about you to be an Einstein, but we are talking about be clear on your thought process, be clear on what you want to do and why you want to do. And when you are talking about an heart, we are not doing it talking about in terms of cardiological manner. We are talking about an heart where you have a control of your behavior and emotion. That is how you actually control your ifs better and take your life's journey more meaningful. Over to you.
Right. Sudipto sir, I think we will deal more and more with the part of how to manage the ips. As we dive into the book, we will understand more about it. To our viewers, this is the power of having the person on stage, having the author on stage, having the successful person on stage. Mr. Pankaj has asked this question, he has got his answer. This is why we are inviting the authors on the stage, so that if you have any queries or any doubts or any part of confusion in understanding the concepts of this particular book, now we have this Life Without If. Tomorrow we might have some other book, after a few episodes. But the point that I am trying to make here is that you can understand the concept of the book from end to end crystal clear when the author himself sits here on the stage and he explains about the concept, I think there cannot be any better explanation than this. And on the other hand, I'm requesting all the viewers that if you have any queries, even beyond this book, you are most welcome, because Sudipto sir, as I have said, he is such a accomplished and successful person. He can answer to any kind of questions related to our life, related to our journey to achieving
My pleasure.
success by design.
My
Right.
pleasure.
Right. Having said that, Sudipto sir, we will delve into the first maybe two chapters of the book today as we get along. And you have, or we have discussed largely about the concept of the book, when we just started the first episode number 1 of BookFlix Live. But today, what we do is that we will go a little deeper, chapter by chapter. Today, what I'm picking up today is that the first chapter which you have mentioned in your book is not chapter, actually this is the introduction of the book, wherein major part of what a viewer can expect or what a viewer can learn or the reader can learn from this book is, by and large, it is expressed over there, articulated over there. So we will first delve into the introduction part of the book, which you are calling as prologue in your book. And then we will dive into the first chapter of your book, wherein you are mentioning as influence of if in the first chapter. These are the two chapters which we will be delving into today, sir. And to start with, I would request you to kindly take us through the contents or the elaboration of the prologue that you have in your book. Over to you, sir.
Well, I think that's the whole structure of BookFlix Live. Not only for Life Without If, I think when we discussed, there are so many books, but book it depends on the ability of the authors to write and express. Also, it depends on the readers to understand and decipher what is the content and use it for their benefit. So BookFlix Live is kind of a series on a particular book where author have a dialogue with Brojan, Bro, and they, discuss various part of the book in detail so that you or viewers actually understand the terminologies, and you will and the content much better and use the particular book much better. So let me start with this particular diagram, which may not be too visible, but this is on the page 5 of Life Without If, which is the comparison between basically two arrows. One is a vertical arrow, which is the intent of general intent, what I call universal intent. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to have a life which is meaningful. Everybody wants to do good things in life. Nobody wants to do bad things in life. So that's what the general intent. But when we actually travel the actual life, which is the horizontal arrow, okay, then some people really do good, and some people do not do so good. And why so? So that is the question we started with when we started with this book. Okay, then I said, let's not start finding answer immediately. I had the childhood habit of scribbling. I always, whenever I find some idea, I do scribble, whether it is on a piece of newspaper or whether it is part of my diary or even my exercise book. And I used to take that, tear it off, and put it into a pocket. And end of the day, I have a box which I call Pandora's box. I just drop it. And believe me, I have done it If not, when I was in class 7, 8, till I actually, retired into took my, voluntary retirement from my professional world till 2016, and I am still doing it. And when I decided that I want to, write a book to leave my legacy, okay, I said, what to write? What will be the content? So then I actually pulled out that Pandora's box, pulled out thousands of such small piece of paper, put it into a wall, and then arranged into them in alphabetically, then removed the duplicates, and then found only the uniques were there. Then I categorized them into various behavioral attributes, and below that I actually wrote my life's journey. So I like to spend a couple of minutes on my life's journey, Rojan, here, that when I
Absolutely.
started my life's journey, I was born in a Bengali family who are known for their literary excellence, and my father is a very very famous, one of the world famous forensic scientist. So my sister was extremely studious and has done a medical degree, and moved to US after marriage, and practicing medical there. My brother was an excellent student, is a senior bank manager, just retired from his job. But in my childhood, I was probably, I do not have a data point to prove, but probably, people used to say I was the most intelligent and the smartest of all the three siblings. But I was a kind of a confused child. I used to do, whatever comes in my way. So in the society, you do the Durga Puja, you will do a sports, you will organize somebody to hospital, you will do go and arrange some fairs and do whatever. But I never was very clear what is that I want to do in my life. In fact, in one of my exam, I still remember that there was an essay which was what is the ambition of life, and I really wrote that in my life I just don't want to do is that my ambition. I just want to stay the way I am today. I will go and to somebody's place. I will gossip, have chat with my friend. I will sleep when I want to. I will eat whatever I want to. I will just take life as it comes. So I was that kind of a confused child. From that kind of a confused child who has no what's in life, no clear what's in life, but was moving along with the siblings who are very clear what they want to do. I actually took up a job, the first job I got, just to avoid studying and curricular way of learning. Okay, I thought, get rid of this curricular way of learning, but that's not my forte. So I joined Hindustan Lever, and then my father told me,
So,
I
just to
am,
interject here, may I?
yeah, please.
You mentioned about your father, a well-known scientist, I would say, in the world. I learned about it. Your father was a medical scientist who has, I think, invented, or who has brought up a lot of powerful, helpful ways of medical treatment to the humanity. And I also learned that he lived for 100 years. If you could
101
just
year, 3 months, 30, no, 3 months. Okay, that's exactly, he was with us, and he is still with us. but maybe not physically, but I'm sure emotionally. Every day morning, I wake up with him. Every night, I sleep with him. So he is an integral part of my life. Okay,
So before
so he
getting into
was,
your working journey,
yeah.
professional, I would say corporate journey, if you could just talk about his invention in one or two lines, that will be great for our
Yeah,
viewers.
he was a doctor, medical doctor. He was also a doctorate in microbiology. He was actually an pioneer in forensic science and forensic medicine. So, forensic science is the science of detection crime with signs of detection crime. So there are a lot of example, lot of cases. He has spent a lot of time in Scotland here even, and he has been pioneer in superimposition as a science of detection crime. He was the first person in the world to find out that our hair and our beard are not the same structure. Beard has only two layers, hair has only three layers. That's how, what was thought to be, somebody who was murdered somebody else was a woman because there was a long hair. But later on, it was discovered that that long hair was not of an woman, but of a Sardar. I don't want to take a decision. Somebody has a long beard. Okay, so that's how it is. Okay, so it is and there are many. I can keep on telling. There are many. A very famous case of Sahibari in West Bengal. Very famous case of Surupa Guho. Oh no, these were all famous cases which have been case studies in criminology. And so that's what his contribution towards forensic science. And most of the forensic science laboratory in India was actually established by him. Okay, so early days, he was the first person establishing first forensic science laboratory, and then the many forensic science laboratory across India. Okay, so
Very inspiring to hear, sir.
yeah. So he has been so he's very respected person in forensic science worldwide. So coming back from that confused state of mind, slowly my father, I was telling you, my father actually is very known for his studies and intelligence. He actually told me when I joined job that मैं तुमको त्याग दिया. So Tajjo, in Bengali, it is called Tajjo Putro. That means I am leaving you as a from as my I disown you as my son, because you are not studying and you are so different from my family. But that was a trigger. I said, I will do what I want to do and make you proud, my father, my dad, one day. And that's what triggered me to find my what's. And then I found my, what I want to do. Then I started working on them. So I plotted the whole journey of my life from a childhood, confused childhood, to, discovering the what, to achieve becoming a managing director of Airtel, managing Ebola, going to UN, and all those stuff. Then I tried to find out, is there any pattern coming? And the clear pattern which actually came up is, wherever I was indecisive and fearful of doing something, I was confused. I was not taking my right decision. But wherever I realized the potential which is, encouraging me, and focused in executing it rightfully, then I was actually successful. So that's where the two ifs we discussed last episode as well, that I can stand for indecisiveness and fearfulness, and I can also stand for identifying your potential and focused action. Okay. So life without if is not about not having any one of the if both the ifs will be there, but how do you deal with that in various situations, more with identifying with the focusing and identifying the potential rather than indecisive fearfulness, is that's what this book talks about. So that's a clear pattern came up. Then we started working, researching, is it only happened to my life? Is it only an hypothesis? Or is there a, if this can be validated? Then we researched various, successful people's life, like Wright brothers, J.K. Rowling Stone, Malala Yousafzai, and Mahatma Gandhi. Those are all in the book. And in various situations, we found out they have also demonstrated a similar pattern. So it is not a particular pattern specific to a particular human being. That's a human behavioral pattern of managing if in your life. And that's where the whole core of the book actually comes from that. And then we again, once we found out that our hypothesis, which was my
Sir,
journey,
sir,
and
sir, can I
yeah,
just hold for a second?
yeah,
I think we are getting really deeper and deeper into the concept. Just to park for a few seconds here to onboard everybody in the same page out here. If I can just recap what you have said, what I have understood, maybe you can correct me if I have to, elaborate it further. So here, sir, what I'm understanding is that you have done the research on the lives of people who have been able to be really successful in their lives, make an impact in the world. And also, even prior to that, you have done research on your own life, your life journey. And what is coming out is something which I'm going to talk about now. And I'm sure this is the same scenario in everybody's life. Those people who are listening to us, watching us, and to my life and to everybody's life. The only difference is some people actually tries to honestly understand it and tries to leverage it, and most of the people don't do it. And what I have grasped from what you have explained is that in life, two kinds of if takes place. The first if is indecisiveness and fearfulness, which happens to everybody, which happens to me, to others. It happens every day, I would say, in every walk of life.
absolutely.
And then how we are able to identify that, understand that, realize that, and then look at the other side of the coin, which is basically uh, to identify the potential in that particular situation or scenario, and then focus on that particular potential that I am able to identify. Then the negative if
Man,
converting into the positive if. That's how disabler is converting into, sorry, dislodger, as per your term, is converting into empowering myself to gun for success in life. Am I correct, sir?
enabler. Absolutely, bang on. I think that's exactly the ifs are can work as a dislodger, if or the set of ifs can work as an enablers. So this book, Life Without If, from the cover itself, that you see that out is striked off. So it is saying life cannot be without if, but you can actually identify what are your dislodger if behavior or what are your enabler if behavior, and balance them and improve your behavior more towards an enabler if, so that you can have a much more meaningful life. So as from concept to our hypothesis from our own life, but then we have validated with the proven successful people worldwide, their life. Then we came back to our life again, we plotted various, success and failure situation of my life, and said that in what kind of a behavior I have demonstrated. And that's where we discovered there are 9 set of enabler ifs and 9 set of dislodger ifs. So, which is we will talk the next chapter of our book. So, what I call 9 E's and 9 D's. Now, this is there, and it is there in everybody's behavior, everybody's life, every moment. But successful people actually manage their dislodgers and work on them to convert them into an enablers. So that's what is the next chapter of the book.
What if I fall behind all my peers?
What if I chose the wrong career?
What if I end up alone?
What if I never make it?
Are these the questions that torment you every single day? Do you keep thinking and thinking but not doing anything? Here's what will help you. Life Without If by Mr. Sudipto Chowdhury and Mr. Joy King Birje is not a typical self-help book. It is your personal guide that tells you exactly why you freeze, spiral, and second guess everything. It helps you turn what if I fail into what if this actually works. And it most importantly helps you build a life that is clear, focused, and entirely yours. Craft your life like a diamond. Own your destiny by design. Ignite your dreams into reality.
You have very rightly mentioned over here, you are about to start the chapter number 1 to go deeper on that. Even before getting into that, you have very rightly mentioned about it that the name of the chapter is called The Influence of If, and you also mentioned that it is your gateway to transformation. It is your gateway to transformation. I think you also mentioned within the chapter something about somebody becoming zero to hero. So very, very interesting. And I think the first takeaway of this particular show was, which I just talked about a little while back, identifying that negative ifs and then converting into enablers. And now I think we are getting into the 9 ifs that actually, takes place in our lives, in day-to-day life. Over to you, sir. I think let's go deeper.
Yeah, thanks, Brojan. I think that's what, once you know that, now you are actually coming on the doorstep of the gateway of your life. Here is your life means reader's life. So the influence of if. So first need to understand that how if influence, what are the ifs and how does it actually impact you. This is a time we spent a lot of time. He said that, if we actually talk about the theories, will it be more like an giving gyan, talking about, only big words? How will a young man who has not even thought of his life, like me, or as a confused child, will really understand? It took me to realize all this more than 50 years. How should I expect somebody will actually be able to correlate or understand that? So then we research further that is there a metaphor which we can pick up, which will help people to understand this behavior much easier, much better. Then we had a challenge, big challenge, that when you are looking for a metaphor and your audiences across the world, across the age, across the gender, across the religion, caste, then what can be the common metaphor? It's really, really, which is understood by everybody. And then, after a lot of research, we found out, we even as a toddler, while we start walking, we also get a gift of, most of us has been gifted a tricycle. And as we grew up, the tricycle actually graduated to bicycle. And then the bicycle, from a toy, it has moved into a moving tool, moving machine. We have gone to the school, we have gone to the market, we have roamed around in neighborhood. Then in modern days, cycling is one of the most effective exercising tools. So, and there will be hardly any person who has not seen or not used a cycle in their life. So we picked up cycle as a metaphor, and we found through our research the cycling and behavior of cycling can actually explain every single of those 9 enablers and disabler very easily. Likely, I will not go through all the situations, because otherwise we are reading the book. Our objective is not that, but I will actually talk about how it does. Let's take the page number 13, where the first if comes, which is the conditionally active, what I define 1D. If everything goes perfectly, I will act. It's a very, very common behavior. Think over that we wait for the perfect moment. We wait for the perfect situation. We wait for the perfect course. We wait for the perfect gift. Every time we are looking for perfect. Okay. As a cyclist, okay, while think about in your childhood, how many times we have thought, if everything goes perfectly, I will ride today. If the weather is clear, if my bike is in good condition, and I have enough time, I will go and for a long ride. While I know that for my health, cycling is important, but I am actually only saying that I behave that if all these situations are perfect, then only if the cycle is perfect, weather is perfect, road is perfect, then only I will cycle. Or otherwise, I avoided cycling and I have lost an opportunity of cycling as well as building my health. That's what we call the first if or dislodger if, conditionally active.
Sir,
Yeah.
I think let me just again park here, because we need to go step by step. I can recall my experience of writing my book from the countryside to the boardroom, which also had become the Amazon bestseller. Sir, actually it took 10 years to complete the book, because I was waiting for the exact thing which you have mentioned about the perfect time, the perfect scenario, the perfect situation, perfect people around me, and the perfect timing. I was always thinking that when I will be getting enough time to spend, at one go, so that I am able to focus from end to end about the content structure of the book, basically, which never happened, for 10 years. But I was ready with bits and pieces of the book. But it was one fine morning when I decided that, hey, I need to complete this. Then it took 70 days for me to complete it. So I would say waiting for the perfect moment made me delay the particular project for 10 years. But just taking a call, taking a decision to move ahead, whatever may be the condition, whether it is perfect or imperfect, as you were mentioning the example of somebody going for cycling. I think it took just 70 days to complete that particular project, and which actually empowered me by large extent after publishing that book. To my viewers, I would like to mention one important thing, that when you hold this book physically, when Sudipto sir is mentioning about any chapter, which we are going to do for the next 4 or 5 episodes, I think we are going to go chapter by chapter, diagram by diagram. And this is a very powerful book. This can actually transform your life to start living by design, to achieve success by design. I think it is always better if you can refer to the book physically, because it will help you to make the thing absolutely clear. There will not be any doubt. So it is not we trying to sell the book, but however, I strongly suggest that if you are really serious, if you are only really serious about understanding, learning how to succeed by design, by grasping the concepts and the, I would say, steps which are given in this book, I would suggest have this book physically in your hand. Then each and everything will be absolutely crystal clear. Over to you, Sudipto sir.
Yeah, Brojin, I'll just add, if anybody who is really serious about his life and living it meaningfully, God has gifted the life, but living, God cannot do it for you. You have to do your life, live your life meaningfully. And if you are really serious about living meaningfully for yourself, for your family, for your friends, society, profession, please pick up this book. This will be a very small investment, but it will be a great investment you will never forget in your life. Okay. Having saying that, going back from one dislodger, let me take an example of the exact opposite enabler. Like conditional active behavior is one end of the spectrum. In the other end of the spectrum are purposefully decisiveness. Purposefully decisiveness is people with a purposefully decisive behavior. Their language is, if it aligns with my purpose, I will act, come what may. Now just see here, if it aligns with my purpose. So how do you know it aligns with your purpose? So you'll have to know your purpose. That will come in the next part of the book, which will talk about how to discover your purpose. Okay. But if it aligns with purpose, so if you know this is your purpose, to be successful, to be meaningful, to live by design, you have to have a purpose defined by yourself based on your skill and competency. So if you have already defined, and those people who have defined purpose, and they will always act when they find this is actually helping them to fulfill their purpose. And that's the energy of acting. In terms of cycle metaphor, if the cycling helps me maintain my physical and mental health, I will prioritize it. No matter what, it aligns with my long-term goal and staying fit and clear-headed. So, if your purpose is to have a good health, good mind, come what may, whether it is road is not really great, the cycle is not really absolutely perfectly oiled, where your your destination is not very clear, you will still go and do cycling for those 15 minutes or those 1 hour for creating good health and good mind. If your purpose is very clear that you need to have a good health and good mind to be meaningful in life. So if you are driven by your purpose, then nothing can stop you. So there are two behavior I just mentioned: purposefully decisive and conditionally active. These are two.
Sir, again,
opposite.
can I?
Yeah.
So this is the second point you have mentioned. So you are talking about having a purpose, the need to have a purpose so that you become unstoppable. I absolutely agree with you, sir. See, for example, you have talked about somebody going for cycling. If I can take another metaphor to it, for example, for a student, the student wants to become a topper or do really well in his or her exam, to excel in the exam. So if that is the purpose is to excel in the exam or probably to become a topper in that particular exam. So if that is the purpose, since that student has that purpose, he or she becomes unstoppable in terms of gunning for it, whether it is sunshine, raining, winter, or summer. Maybe the lights are off or on, always he or she finds a way to make sure that the study happens, the hard work happens, so that he or she is fully prepared, fully ready, or fully make himself or herself completely equipped or ready, so that he or she excels in that particular exam. So here, most of the time, what happens is that when that unconducive scenario, the scenario of discomfort takes place in our lives, which occurs in everyday life to everybody. Sometimes it will be sunshine, sometimes it will be raining, sometimes it will be power off, sometimes it will be very hot, cold, raining. So regardless of those discomfort situations or uncomfortable situations, you get the energy from inside, from within, which will push you to keep doing whatever it happens. Otherwise, if you don't have the purpose, what will happen? It will be like you will be in the control of that situation, uncomfortable situation, and probably will stop doing that. So here, the big difference is that if you have the purpose pushes you, it makes you unstoppable in doing what you were supposed to do in line with the purpose. So it's very important to have the purpose. Have I understood it correctly, sir?
Absolutely. So if you are actually you behave conditionally active because you do not have a purpose. You wait for the perfect moment, perfect road, perfect cycle, perfect teacher, perfect course, because you don't know exactly what is what you want to do. You want everybody else to be perfect, every other thing to be perfect, excepting you. But when you are purposefully decisive, you know what you want. You know this is good for you. You know this is what you have to do. Whether it is a topping the class, whether it is a topping the exam, whether it is a building, good health, then you will overcome those painful situations very easily, because your inner energy, as you said, will actually guide you. Your inner consciousness will guide you. Otherwise, you will always wait for the right condition, and right condition never comes. Okay. So having said that, I will not go through all the 9 cycle metaphor or whatever. So that is, readers have to go through, read through. Otherwise, we are reading the book. Let me just mention the 9 dislodgers: conditionally active, external condition driven, where you are being reactive in mindset, about rigid and fixed mindset, to stagnation, vulnerability, dependency, hesitation, and lack of control. So these are all there in the book. So I'm just mentioning these 9. These are the 9 negative if kind of a behavior. Similarly, there are 9 positive if kind of a behavior, which is purposefully decisive, goal and core strength oriented, to proactive mindset, agile and flexible mindset, okay, innovative and creativity, your resilience, adaptability, confidence and action orientation, and last but not the least is the designed control. These are the 9 positive if behavior. So in the second chapter, each of these behavior has been explained, defined, and which is also not only defined, it is explained with your cycle metaphor, and for each one of them. And it is not only a theoretical definition, but with a practical example. And in the later part of the book, okay, this cycle example has been compared with real life stories, how this cycle metaphor and the real life, famous people's behavior actually you can correlate and see that yes, this is what it is not about only cycling. It is about doing what you want to do by design or not doing because you do not have a design. So that is what the first chapter of Life Without If. Okay. Again, if I have to summarize this, Life Without If starts with saying life cannot be without if. But at the same time, there is a way you can convert those negative ifs into positive way, which is identifying your potential and focusing on your action from your own strength and skills and competency. And this book actually tells you the concept, tells you what are the 9 ifs, positive ifs, what are the 9 negative ifs, explain it with a metaphor of cycling, then takes you to the next level, how this behavior are demonstrated and understand this behavior and design your life objective and make it more full and successful. Okay, so that's where I think I will summarize the first 2 chapters. Over to Brojan.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. I think very well explained. It cannot be a better explanation than this. What I have understood is that today, from just talking a broad understanding about the concept, we are getting deeper. We are going to get into detail in the next episode when we have the episode number 3. Today, very perfectly, you have cited the example of people waiting for the perfect moment, not going ahead with the action, just delaying things because they don't feel that the moment is perfect. That is one example which was very, very interesting to me, which is applicable to everybody's life. And the second example you have mentioned is when you have a purpose behind whatever you are doing, I think the discomfort or the unfavorable situation cannot stop you from doing what you are supposed to do. The purpose will actually drive from within, and you will move ahead and execute the task that you are supposed to have because you have the purpose behind it. For our viewers, for somebody, you might be thinking a little bit about saying that, oh, it is becoming slightly more philosophical. No, friends, if you are really serious about building a life by design, crafting your success by design, by minimizing, as Sudipto sir says, by minimizing the negative impact of if, and by enhancing the positive impact of the positive ifs, the enablers. I think this is a bit of the discomfort or the unfavorable situation that we have to go through because you have the purpose behind, the purpose of living by design, the purpose of achieving success by design. I think that is a whole purpose all of us have. That is why we are here for. That is why this platform is all about. This platform is all about having the guidance, having the mentor, having the authors and the successful people as mentor, wherein you get the guidance, you get the help to design your success. Otherwise, all of us, I would say 90-95% of the people on the street, if you catch all of 100 people walking on the street and ask about what do you want to do in your life? Do you have a master plan for achieving what you want to achieve in your life? First of all, in the first question itself, I think 80% of the people will fumble. They will not have a clear answer to the question that what do you want to become in your life? What is your vision and purpose in your life? And then after that, do you have a master plan for achieving your vision in your life? Even if you have a vision, I think another 20% will fall back on that. So today we have the platform. This platform is the right platform wherein you will be able to enable all these things for your life. You will have the opportunity or the learnings to live by design, by designing your success. What do you want to achieve in your life? What is your vision? What is your purpose? Then after that, how to make the blueprint to reach there, to achieve success by design. So let us not miss this opportunity. Let us leverage this. Only thing you need to do is you invest your valuable 1 hour's time every Sunday at 11 a.m. That's it. You just sit back, relax, refer to the book that we are discussing. Then you are there. You are going to craft the journey that I would say most of the people in the world are not able to craft. So that is the power of this platform. Let us leverage this. I would request all the viewers to share the information about this particular show, BookFlix Live, with more and more people so that we are able to change, transform the lives of more and more people who would like to achieve success by design. Sudipto sir, before we conclude this show, anything from your side, sir?
Yes, Brojan, I think you have summarized everything so well. So nothing that I am left with, but I think it's a great opportunity to just read out one of the just excerpt of the one forward. There are 4 people forwarded this book. One is Partho Sinha. Partho Sinha was the chairman of Times of India, and he is an eminent writer. He writes regularly on Times of India and various platforms. He is an eminent speaker and a brand guru. He was, today also, yesterday also, we lost the legend brand guru Piyush Pandey. That's a loss for the country and the marketing and the branding world. But Partho has worked very closely with Piyush, and I also had some opportunity to work with Piyush and knowing Partho for a long time. Okay, he as as we were writing the book, we actually shared with them, and as per Partho, just one line from his long forward is, this book reads like a conversation between sharp CEO and the reflective poet. Think of it as a decision tree for the soul. Okay, I myself could not have described my book in one liner better than this. And there are forewords from Krish Shankar. You know Krish Shankar, the very eminent HR leader globally. Debjit Saikia was the General Secretary of BCCI. Bhavna Gandhi was the head of HR of Sunfoy internationally. So those are the people who has validated the book. So we will talk about what they talk about, say about the book. But I can only, not because I am the author, but I can tell you, I have lived life. This is a document I have carefully created, which surely help anybody and everybody who carefully read this book at least twice and have a better and more meaningful way of life. Okay, I am not promising that anybody reads this book will become J.K. Rowling Stone or Wright Brothers or Ambani or Elon Musk, but surely they will be a better human being. They will have a easier and smoother and more meaningful journey than they have so far. So all the best. Even if we can help few people in living better, that will be a great reward for our own life. Thank you, Brojan, for starting this wonderful concept of BookFlix, and thank you for inviting me for the first series. And in next couple of episodes, we will go further. And till then, All the best. Stay well, stay safe, and find your purpose in life. And life without if will help you, fulfilling your purpose. That's the promise.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Sudipto sir. Before signing off, just wanted to harp upon what Sudipto sir has just said. Those are the incredible, I think, acknowledgements about the content of this book, the framework that has been presented in this book, which will enable you to live by design, succeed by design. And dear friends, I'm also extremely excited to share another information with all of you, saying that in the next episode, that means episode number 3 of BookFlix Live, we are going to have the pleasure of inviting our special guest, Mr. Joy King Birje, who is the co-author of this amazing book, Life Without If. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have the co-author of this book in our show, BookFlix Live, episode number 3 on stage. His name is Joy King Birje. Another very inspiring person. I know we are going to have a great time to discuss about this book, to bring out more and more insights about this book, and to bring out more and more powerful strategies which had been mentioned about or mentioned in this book. So with this, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this show. With this, we'd like to thank Sudipto sir for sparing his valuable time again today in this show of BookFlix Live episode number 2. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to
Thank
again
you,
have.
Roger. Yeah, just if I say, as I told you in the beginning, that this life without if is a art and science of meaningful living. So I owe the science of part of this book, and Joy owes the art part of the book. Okay, so he's a storyteller. I am the actually concept provider. Joy is a very exciting, interesting young fellow, has gone through lots of ups and downs in life, and is a great orator, and he will be able to connect with you and your viewers with his great way of storytelling. So the whole art and the storytelling is done by him. The concept and the science is provided by me. So I'm sure that your next 2 episodes with Joy will be really exciting. So, and I'll be back again when we actually talk about the science part of it more further. So we will keep a good balance of storytelling and the science, rational, okay, between Joy, me, and you. All the best. Do well. Stay safe.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to
Thank
have
you.
the next episode. Thank you so much, and see you soon, sir. Thank you.
Cheers.
Dear friends, we are going to conclude our today's episode here. I hope this show was valuable to you. Please share your feedback as to how we can do better. Thank you so much. Stay joyful, keep growing, and take care.